Hey guys, welcome back. Joe,
Steve,
from ScaleFreak.com, coming to bring you the beginning of the beginner's guide to Airsoft. Now, we are very qualified to make a beginner's guide because we are, in fact, beginners in a huge way. We decided over the winter that we were going to pick this stuff up. We built ourselves a target range in the garage, and we've been firing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rounds ever since. And I would definitely like to say that we have fallen on the rabbit hole of research, of testing, and of buying. We've definitely bought a lot of stuff. But today is to bring you what we've learned in kind of a bit of a crash course and a beginner's guide on pistols. So what everyone wants to buy, because everyone thinks they're really, really cool, of course, is your rifle and your pistol. And depending on what your style of play is, the pistol might be your primary, or in our case, it winds up being our secondary, because we're going to go more of the milsim stuff. Now, I've got 3 pistols here. All of them have been safety checked. All of them are clear on the chamber, and there are no pellets in any of these magazines. And, oh, hold on, Steve. We have eye protection. So if you want to comment down below, please, we invite constructive criticism. Don't flame us, we're new. But we've got 3 different pistols here to kind of illustrate a few of the things that you should be looking out for when you are picking up your first pistol and getting in. Now, again, one of the reasons why I want to do this series is because through all of our research, we have definitely found that trying to get into Airsoft can be pretty intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. It's actually a lot easier than we thought it was going to be. What you should do is maybe find yourself a trusted local store that you can go and ask questions about. Also, sometimes these things might not entirely work out of the box, so it's great to have a local store to help you work through any of the initial pain points so you don't just forget it and I'm out of here.
Yeah, that, and because we were new, we didn't know anything about how to adjust a hop-up in a pistol, those sort of things. Having a local shop nearby, they'll be able to show you how your gun works, and that'll help out a lot.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, it's nice to support a local group as well. So we've got 3 pistols here, 3 varying sizes, 3 varying price levels for sure. Now, anytime we talk about anything, we are in Canada, so any pricing or anything like that, we will always be talking in Canadian. Canadian dollars, Canadian speak,
Canadian A.
Millimeters instead of inches, but we will still talk in feet instead of meters, because I don't know.
Which is weird.
But we have the 3 pistols here. This one here is the WE Tech Force 2 WET or Wet Edition. This is a replica of the Smith & Wesson
M&P 9.
Exactly. And this one is an upgraded model. The original one would have been $200 and it would have looked exactly like an M&P. This one here is the upgraded model, so there's some stuff that's been upgraded. This one here is Tosh's gun. We won't get into that. This one here in the middle is the Glock 17 Gen 5 from Umarex. Don't need to talk a lot about that because there's going to be a lot of people who love Glocks and a lot of people who hate Glocks. And this guy here is the WE Tech High Kappa WET IREX. And this thing here weighs a lot more than you actually think it does by watching the video. This thing is actually quite heavy. 3 have different uses for different people and different things to look out for when you're buying. So when you're buying, a few of the first things you need to figure out is figure out if you're a left-handed shooter or if you're a right-handed shooter. And just because you pull your rifle up like that doesn't mean that you're going to be right-handed with your pistol, because I am right-handed with my rifle, I am dominant on my right eye, but I am crap at shooting pistol with my right hand, so I needed to go with the left side.
He's weird.
You also need to figure out the size of your mitts. And this is important because say, for example, this guy here, this is Antler's gun. And Antler is a monster of a human. He's 6'4", and his shoulders are this wide. He has hands that are even bigger than mine. So for him, I'll do it like it's him. For him to grab a hold, he can get a hold of everything no problem. And the slide release, he can reach with his thumb. I can't do that normally. If I hold mine normally, I can't reach it. I have to remove my grip or adjust my grip to hit that slide release. It's kind of a big one to think about. Also, this little one here is Tosh's. This one's what I would consider maybe a little too small for me. I can reach halfway, well, more than halfway down the barrel with a pointer finger, and my hand kind of comes off the bottom of the grip on the bottom. So this wouldn't be necessarily the one that I would want. So you would think that I got the Glock because it's kind of the Goldilocks for me with the right size and it fits well in my hand. Where that is true, it's actually not the reason I bought it. I bought it, as we already talked, because I'm left-handed. And this was the only pistol that I could easily and affordably find a left-sided holster for. I could have went to Real Steel, and I would have paid like triple the price for that.
More.
At least. But this was just easier for me to go with a gun that I knew I could get equipment for. So that's what that's for. That's the reason why I got the Glock. Not because I'm any kind of... I don't even have my purchase and acquisition license, so I don't have any real guns. Steve does. So I just went with the first one that I knew was going to fit. Turns out it actually turned out to be really, really good. So those are a few things to consider when you're doing that as well, is also whether or not it's ambidextrous. Because this guy here, where the mag release can be switched to either side and the thumb safety is on both sides, the slide rail release is not. So I would have to pull it like this and do that, which I know wouldn't necessarily be a problem, but that's the finger that makes it go boom. I kind of want to keep that near the contact as much as I can if I have to do a fast mag release in a pistol fight. Whereas this guy here with Tosh's, this thing here is fully, there's a mag release on both sides, so, and I can move that as well. Same with the Glock, so figure that part out as well. Also, you're going to want to find out about availability of parts, because if there's one thing that we've learned through our little spin down the rabbit hole so far, is availability of airsoft parts is not available.
Some. Like for us here in Canada anyways, we have availability issues.
Yes, we definitely have availability issues. So I was able to source out 2 extra mags for my Glock. We can't find any for the high Kappa, not any that Jason wants. And I'm able to find 2 of these, but, and another consideration, this stuff can be very easy to break. That is one of Tosh's magazines. That is another one of Tosh's magazines. The top and the bottom is broken off of this one. Tosh didn't do it, I did. I'm also crap at reloading when I'm trying to do my right hand, so I dropped it and broke it. We've had that part on order for over a month and that part on order for over a month, and we just can't get them. So where I have 3 mags for her, well, we're down to 2 because I broke it. So keep in mind what you're looking for and buy what you can when you see it, because there's a good chance that if you want to go back later to get it, it's not going to be there. I can tell you I searched everywhere for that. I had to drive 2 hours to pick that thing up. So availability of parts is definitely one that you have to look into. You also want to check to see availability of videos or instructions on how to tear them down and clean them. This thing was so new, that was a learning curve. Another part is, there are 3 types of pistols. I guess I should have talked about this one earlier. There are the spring pistols that you can pick up from Walmart for 20 bucks. Basically what they are is it doesn't use any type of propellant in it. You just pull this every time and you shoot. And you pull it again and you shoot. That could get tedious. It's great if you're just plinking in the garage. Or you could go for what we have, which are green gas pistols. So there are little gas chambers inside here that are filled up with little valves on the bottom. And if you fill this with green gas, which this is green gas, 1,100 milliliters can in Canadian, 15 bucks. This is kind of your all-purpose. There are different types of gases that you can get, and you can definitely pay for them. But this one here, all you do, grab the mag, flip it upside down, and it's just a pressure transfer. This thing full, you get 45, 46, depending on the gas efficiency of the pistol.
And depending on the temperature.
And the temperature is a big one as well. In the wintertime, plinking in the garage here, it's been a bit of a nightmare because...
Barely get a mag out of it?
Yeah, low pressure, or low temperatures equal low pressure, which means it might not slide the rail back all the way. There is, of course, again, the green gas route, which I know a lot of stores really, really talk highly about because, again, that's $15 a can. Or you can use propane. All green gas is unscented propane with some silicone oil in it. This is propane. I got this from Walmart. 3 of these 1-pound tanks for 20 bucks. You can go to Costco here in Canada, you get 4 of them for 20 bucks. And then what you do is you get this $35 Mad Bull adapter And then this little slide here, you put silicone oil that you buy for, I think it was like $4. You put a few drops in here and it does the whole tank. Yeah, we've been using this for a while. There's probably still half a tank left on this thing, and we've shot a lot of rounds out of it. And of course, because you buy them in bulk, we have a lot more. The only thing is you have to deal with a little bit of the propane smell, which this is a very big garage, or if you're playing outdoors, you're really not going to notice. A few other things to consider when you're going through it: the weight. Of course, this one here is very light, so if you're going to spend your entire day in the woods running around, this is a nice one to have on your hip. This one here is very, very heavy. But again, Jason's a very big guy. He can definitely carry this thing around with him all day. And the cool part is if you ever run out of ammunition, you just like throw it at somebody because it's going to hurt them just as much. This thing weighs a lot. Also, you have to figure out what attachments you want to get. You also figure out how you want to store them. Tosh did want a nice, awesome case. So I got one for him. These aren't real steel. You don't have to lock them up. At least in Canada, we have to lock stuff like that up. At the end of the day, after this video, this Glock is just going to go in the drawer. You're going to be running around the woods with these things. You don't have to worry about them getting knocked or hit or banged around. They're made to take a beating.
Within reason.
Well, yeah. Again, hitting somebody with it is not actually the smart move. So that's really what you're coming down to, is you need to take these things into consideration when you are picking up what your first pistol is going to be, or your second, or your third, or your fourth, because definitely there's a few more that I want to buy.
Oh, yeah.
But you need to do a lot of research, and Steve and I are both ultra guilty for the idea that it's like, I'll bounce some ideas off of him, he'll bounce some ideas off of me, the next thing you know, we don't buy anything, because we have 3 more days of research to do. And then in that research, we find something completely new, and then we have to do 5 more days of research on that, and then we have to find a store in our area that actually carries the product. Because again, here in Canada,
Some of it could be hard to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the SIG M17 that I want.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful gun. Now, one last thing that I do want to talk about is loading these little things. So this is the speed loader. This guy here holds about 100 rounds. Just pop the tip off the end there. Boom, there you go. Now, every time you push this button, pellets are coming out. I actually managed to catch them this time. And then what you do is basically on the mags themselves, there's a pull tab. You pull it back, and then you start feeding them into there. These are double stacked, so they will fall left and right as they go down. Now, these WE Tech mags, you got to pull this all the way back, and it is only a tiny little area at the top that you can feed them into, so it's a little bit more cumbersome. Whereas this mag from Umarex, you pull it back, and almost the entire channel you can load into. So if you maybe miss a pellet going up the double stack, you could just force one into there. It'll fit. So, and also one more thing I don't want to forget, because this is something that caught me out, is project your future costs and figure out what it is that you want to do. And I say that because remember we talked about availability. We also have to talk about pricing. Tosh's M&P, these mags were $40 each. Antler's High Kappa, to my recollection, these mags are $50 each. This Glock, the Umarex, these mags are $70 each. They do the same thing. And you have to kind of figure out how many of these things that you want to have. Of course, we want to do 3, and I think he's doing 4. So you have to project what cost you're going to kind of ramp up on. And don't wind up getting yourself something that looks perfect from the beginning and then winds up costing you triple the amount later, because that is really, really going to kick your ass. So that's really all we have for you right now. Kind of what I always want to recommend is if you have any thoughts on these 3 pistols, again, the WE Tech Force 2 WEP, WET, the Wet Edition, the Umarex Glock 17 Gen 5, and the WE Tech High Kappa IREX. Leave your thoughts on the comments field below. Constructive criticism is also helpful. Again, we are very new at this. If there's something that we left out, put it in the thoughts down below.
Let us know what you've got, if you have an airsoft gun, what you run, and what you like about it. That way we can get some more information on what's out there, because we'll actually look into them as well.
And probably buy them.
Because, yeah, we're crazy that way.
If this winds up being anything like the remote control cars, we will own all of the things. But guys, thank you very much for watching it. This is just the beginning of the season. We do plan on doing rifles, equipment, plate carriers, iPro, radios, as much as we can. So guys, thanks for checking it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up in the comments field. Thanks for watching.